First, if you are going through a breakup, I am sending you so much love. Heartbreak is the worst, and it hits different for high achieving women who are used to having it all together. It tends to tank your self worth, activates your deepest wounds, and keeps you trapped in your head, replaying every last detail and wondering what you should have done differently. In this video, I am giving you a no fluff, 7-step process to stop ruminating and to start healing fast. Be ready to take notes and take immediate action to find immediate relief. Let's do this. Step 1, be rational. I know that when you're laying in bed at night after a breakup, it is hella tempting to start reminiscing on all of the good times, all the reasons why you miss that person. What I urge you to do is to be rational. I want you to write down the top 2 to 3 reasons on why this relationship ended. Perhaps this person was emotionally unavailable. Maybe they cheated. Maybe they were verbally abusive. Maybe your needs were not being met at all and you had waited for years for your needs to be met. You were just falling for potential and took too long to leave. So I want you to write down the top 2 to 3 reasons on why it ended. And then when you're laying in bed at night, I want you to reference those top reasons instead of ruminating about the good times. Next, I want you to rate them. Ask yourself, did I feel deeply seen and heard by this person? Rate them 1 to 10. 1, not at all. 5, kinda. 10, totally. Then the next thing I want you to do is rate them based on your needs being met. Ask yourself, how well were my needs being met by this person? 1 to 10. 1, not at all. 5, kinda. 10, totally. Rate them on those 2 measures and then list out why the relationship ended. And then when you're in bed at night, remember these things versus ruminating on the good times. Be rational about why it ended. Step 2, train your focus. Because science says if we are not in the present moment, then we feel bad. You see, the amygdala is the emotional regulator in the brain. 2/3 of it is looking for what could go wrong. In other words, if I don't train my focus, my brain is hardwired to look to the future or to look to the past and to find what could go wrong. I call this chasing squirrels. If I'm looking at the future, what ifing, that's directly linked to stress and anxiety. If I'm looking at the past, that's directly linked to sadness and depression. So science says the only place to find relief and contentment is in the present moment. Therefore, to heal from a breakup, I have to get really good at training my focus not to ruminate on things that don't serve me. Speaking of that, the next thing I highly recommend is to focus on yourself. This lesson took me so long to learn. I was in a 4-year situationship chasing someone who was emotionally unavailable, and I was stuck in my head literally 90% of the time, and I was beating myself up because at the time I was running a company. I was a total badass, but I was giving my power away to this situation. I literally could not show up and I was stuck in my head all the time. I learned the hard way that every moment spent focusing on someone else was me hiding from my own work. So I'll say this to you directly with so much love. If you are focusing on what the other person might do, will they work on themselves? Will they go to therapy? Will they come back to me? If you're focusing on them, you are hiding from your own work. So instead of me focusing on her and is she going to do work? Is she going to come back? Is she going to be better? I started asking myself, why am I settling? What's wrong with me that I'm settling? Why am I not working on myself? I started asking myself better questions, and that immediately put me back in my power, and it allowed me to continue on my healing journey. If I'm looking at someone else, I'm giving away my power and I'm stuck. So focus on yourself. Next, your body is a compass. In every moment, your body will tell you if your thoughts are serving you or not. You see, your thoughts completely within your control. It takes time and it takes training to train your focus and your thoughts, but you are in control of your thoughts, and your thoughts create your feelings, which then create your behaviors. And so if you feel bad, then you can trust that the thought you're having, the thought you're creating, the thought you are choosing to focus on is not a good one. It's not a thought that's serving you. So if you feel that you're short of breath, your shoulders are creeping to your ears, and you just feel angsty and you feel bad and sad, ask yourself, what was I thinking about? And choose to think about something else. Focus on the present moment, focus on something that serves you, but know that your thoughts are within your control and your body is telling you in every moment if your thoughts are serving you. And finally, conscious consumption. If it feels good, keep doing it. Scrolling social media aimlessly, surfing the Netflix aimlessly, or binging your ex's social media probably doesn't feel good. So I'm asking you just to have awareness around what you're consuming and consume the things that serve you and feel good. You're training your focus and you're practicing awareness around what feels good. And remember to be compassionate with yourself. Self compassion is rocket fuel. If you get caught beating yourself up because your thoughts are in Squirrel Emporium, take a beat. Tell yourself, I'm doing the best that I can and I'm coming back to this present moment and I'm learning. Self compassion will empower you to heal faster. Self beat holds you back. So be kind to yourself through this process. Step 3, clean up your environment. You know it and I know it. If you are connected on social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, like even connected to their Spotify profile, there are so many things out there that you can be connected to. Being connected to anything is going to hold you back. Any reminder, shared photo albums, things in your apartment. I want you to clean up every part of your environment to get this person out of your head so that you can heal. Every time you look at their story, every time you stalk their Facebook, every time you pop into Facebook Messenger to see their status, or look at a friend of a friend to see if you can find them on social media. Every time you do these things, you are going backwards. You're going backwards because you're getting yourself all amped up. You're getting intertwined in memories. You're thinking about the past. You're thinking about what the future could have been. It's going to feel bad and it's going to set you back. Now, I know that I wasn't very efficient with cleaning up my environment. That's why I'm saying this so directly. It may take you some time. Let's say that you delete them from all of the social medias. And then you find yourself coming back to look in a week or in an hour or in a couple days. Again, practice self compassion. If it seems like too much to not look for a whole day or for a whole hour, then set a goal of 5 minutes. Then set a goal of 10 minutes. Then set a goal of hours in one day. But begin to pull yourself away from these things. And if you can go cold turkey out of the gate, this is going to be the best thing for you. And I know in the past, I'm like, oh, I don't want to delete an ex. I don't want her to think I hate her. I don't want her. You removing them from the things, them not seeing you and you not seeing them, you blocking them, removing, that is a gift to you and to them. Because when we don't have those things in our existence every day triggering us, it empowers us to heal. So you are doing them a favor and you're also doing yourself a favor. And remember, every time you look, it's delaying your healing. I'm not saying this is going to be perfect, but every time you do look, ask yourself, how do I feel in my body? And more importantly, when I look, what am I really looking for? I know when I was looking in the past, I was yearning for connection because I missed her. I was yearning for connection. But then I asked myself, is looking at her story going to give me connection? Is that going to scratch the itch? And the answer is hell no. So if you're looking for connection, take a pause and ask yourself, where can I get this connection? How can I be with myself and connect with myself? And be conscious of the fact that when you look, it's not really going to feel better. So just get better and better and practice self-compassion along the way. And if you can clean it up out of the gate, whew, hell yes, I'm so proud of you. Step 4, be the love that you seek. You will match with exactly what you are. If you are walking around post breakup like a total Eeyore, just wishing you were with that person, totally bummed out, missing them, talking about all the time, just being upset, you are going to bring in more opportunities and more people with this Eeyore energy. Literally, you are attracting exactly what you are in every moment. Now, I'm not saying like toxic positivity, ignore the feels. What I am telling you is that your greatest gift to yourself and everyone around you is you feeling good. And it's your birthright to feel good. So the more you focus on doing the work to feel good, the better. Because when you feel good, you are able to be in the practice of love with other people, with your friends, with your family, with the barista. Said differently, when I'm regulated and calm and I'm present in the moment, I can love you so hard. I can be in that practice of love with you energetically. And that is the point of life. And so if you can focus on being the love that you seek, maybe it's for a half hour every day as you're going through a breakup. Maybe it's for 2 minutes with the barista. Focus on being the love that you seek in small increments and continue to increase this, because in every moment you're matching with what you are. And I know if you went through a breakup, you're grieving the future you thought you'd have. And I know you want to be with someone. You want to have this magical love. And so keep in mind, if you want that amazing love, you have to feel good every day. If you're feeling like an 8, 9, 10 out of 10, happy about life, fulfilled, you will match with someone else in that energy. That's where we want to be. It's going to take time, but focus on being the love that you seek in small increments, one day at a time. Step 5, feel the feels. You have to discharge that energy from the body to move through this breakup process. I'll tell you, crying is a superpower, because when you go to the depths of your grief, when you go deep in there, imagine this emotional flex. You are flexing downwards, you're going in there, you're getting it out, you're crying. The most magical thing about that is that the greater capacity you have to feel grief, the greater capacity you have to feel love. That flex emotionally works downward and also flexes upwards. The more you can feel grief, the greater your capacity to love. It is a flex in both direction. And also, I'll tell you, when you cry your eyes out, when anyone has ever cried their eyes out, no one has ever said, ugh, wish you would have left that in there. Like, no, when you come out of a good cry, you are softer, you are more loving, you are more present, and it is magical. Crying is a superpower, and it empowers you to love harder immediately. It creates this pathway to more connection to yourself and more connection to the moment immediately. Step 6, when you miss your ex, love little you. This is a big one. The bigger the trigger, the more you feel something in your body, the deeper the roots. When you miss your ex, it's not really about them. It has nothing to do with them most of the time. And it has everything to do with that unhealed part of you. Now, I'm not saying that it's not sad when you go through a breakup and you don't miss someone. Like, that is part of it. But when you do the deeper healing work, you realize you're never alone. You always have you. I went through one of the hardest breakups of my life about a year and a half ago, but I was able to be with myself. I trusted myself to be okay. And I walked away from that because I knew I had me and I had healed that core wound. I was never alone. And so your pain, like the deepest part of your pain, has nothing to do with them. And it has everything to do with that unhealed childhood attachment wound within you. You see, 75% of high achieving women come from troubled homes. Said differently, they grew up in households where emotional unavailability was a problem. Mom or dad were not there emotionally, and most of the time, both mom and dad. Now, this does not mean big T trauma. This just means that you didn't get the love and attention and approval that you desperately needed and deserved. This is extremely common. And so, what this looks like for high achieving women is they learn to look outside of themselves to figure out, what do I need to do to get scraps of attention, love, and approval? Because when they were younger, between 6 and 10, there was emotional unavailability. They weren't getting the love. So they had to figure out what song and dance they needed to do to get scraps of love and approval. So when you're going through a breakup, I want you to imagine you between 6 and 10. Let's say little 6-year-old you. You, in those moments when you feel immense pain because of your breakup, that is little you yearning for love and attention. The more you're hurting, the more you need to be with little 6-year-old you. She's literally jumping up and down, going, love me, see me, hold me, be with me. And so when you're focused on the ex, you're focused on all this pain and the what ifs and the muck, I want you to stop and visualize 6-year-old you and then ask her, what do you need? And say, I'm here. I got you. What do you need? Do you want to go out to dinner? Do you want to journal? Do you want to go out in nature? Do you want to work out? Like, what do you need? I am here. You are not alone. That is going to provide so much relief, coming back to you and coming back to your little lady who is still feeling that wound from not feeling seen and heard. Step 7, rewire your attachment pattern. Now, it is extremely important for me to share that steps 1 through 6, these are all band aids. They will provide relief right now, but they will not fix the problem in the long run. You need to heal the root of this attachment pattern. Like I said before, for high achieving women, the most common unhealthy patterns in relationships look like settling, overthinking, and overgiving, and then also typically manifest in career, not feeling seen and heard, overworking, etc. Said differently, they're used to looking externally and figuring out, what do I need to do to earn love? I call this the hustle for love pattern. To break this pattern, you can't sit there and talk about it and talk therapy. In fact, because your nervous system has been stuck in survival energy for decades from that core trauma, your brain is stuck in overthinking mode. And so if your brain is 80 to 90% offline, going to talk about it in therapy is not going to be helpful. So to break this pattern for good, you need these 3 ingredients. Number 1 is a cognitive rewrite. You need to trace the present day feeling in the body, go back to the root. You don't need to talk about all the nuances of what happened. You need to come back to the feeling, understand the love operating system that was formed between the ages of 6 and 10, recognize it, reinterpret it as an adult, and write a new love operating system. You also need a somatic release from the body. You must discharge the survival energy that has been stuck in the body for decades, because the body is really running the show. That angst in the chest, the lump in the throat, and the pit in the stomach. Your body thinks that that's love. Roller coaster relationships, and your body is drawn to that. So although you know better, you've gone to therapy, you've read all the books, your body is pulling you towards those things, and you can't control it until you release the survival energy from the nervous system. There are very specific techniques to do that in a safe way, but you need a system to get there and to do it safely, to essentially trigger the release from the brainstem, neurogenic tremors, to essentially release that energy from the nervous system. This is actually a tool that you learn on your own. You become your own guru. You don't rely on anybody else. And releasing this somatically changes the game. Instead of trying not to end up in these unhealthy relationships, pushing a rock up a hill, it becomes easy. Your body rejects anything that is less than you deserve. It rejects it so easily. And the final piece you need, after you go through the cognitive rewrite, the somatic release, you then need to rewire the behaviors. Said differently, you're coming out of the first 2 stages with Bambi legs, like a new level of consciousness. And so you need to learn how to tune into your needs, desires, and dreams, and then to put those things first in your everyday life, in your relationships, in your career, relentlessly, without guilt, without worrying about the other person. You need to learn how to do that with simple tools and simple frameworks that can be used in real time. That is the actual rewire. And the idea is that you putting yourself first, showing up as your most authentic self, loving, energized, present as fuck, in the practice of love with yourself and with your people, you showing up as your best is the greatest gift you can possibly bring to this world. And so that's what we're aiming at. And that's what this entire system and tools empower you to do in everyday life. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your ex was a gift, because Mama Universe is bringing you every lesson that you need on your healing journey. And that lesson that you learned from this ex brought you to this pain, brought you to this video, brought you to a deeper knowing on what you need to break unhealthy patterns, and ultimately more clarity on what you need to feel at peace and fulfilled to continue curating the life of your dreams. And so we needed this person, regardless of what happened, they did the best that they could given their trauma, their experience, their tools, and you did the best that you could. And so you are a gift to each other, and it just is. At this point, honor your process, honor your timing, and that you are here for a reason. Again, I'm sending you so much love, and I want you to know that this pain is impermanent. And I know that you want to be with the one and you want to build that loving relationship. I'll tell you that your job is to just feel good every day. This person could come back, it could be someone new. It's not up to you to know the who and the when. It's just up to you to curate a feel good state so that you match with the right person at the right time. And finally, if you are an action taker, if you are a high achieving woman who has been struggling with unhealthy relationship patterns for years or decades, and you've done therapy, you've done EMDR, perhaps you've waved magical feathers under a full moon. If you've done all the things and you're feeling borderline hopeless and you don't want to end up in this position again, then I want to help you. If you are ready to stop settling and stop attracting emotionally unavailable partners and to break these patterns for good so that you can sink into more self trust, self love, peace, and fulfillment, if you're ready for this, then I want to hear from you. You can go ahead and take action below and book a 15-minute call with me. If you, again, are a high achieving woman and you are able to invest in yourself, my commitment to you is that I will learn more about what you're struggling with specifically. If I can help you, we'll book a subsequent call and we can explore how I can help you. If I can't, I will do everything I can to get you connected with the right resource that you need at this point in time. I'm sending you so much love. I know heartbreak is so hard, but I know you got this. Work these tools. And if you have questions for me, pop on over to Instagram, slide into my DMs. I actually respond to them personally, and I would love to hear from you.